Residents and business owners determined to move forward. Farmers desperate to save their crops and main source of income.
Do I go out of business and try to sell my land and pay off my debts? Or do I try to keep going?
It's been 1 year of healing, restoring, and rebuilding. Yet still, when it comes to the status of funds flowing into the state,
we have a lot more work to do. And I'm grateful for every federal dollar that the state has received. But to be frank, it isn't enough.
How long is it going to take me to get this money? And I'm still counting on it.
Progress can only be described as slow and steady.
I have to say some growers have been a little bit disappointed with what they've gotten from that. But, it is a start, and it's not going to be the last.
The devastation of Helene left behind a staggering $59.6 billion price tag in damages.
The average federal contribution to a state after a major storm as a percentage of the total damage is about 50%. To date, North Carolina has received 11%.
According to the state's Office of State Budget and Management, a recent quarterly report revealed $7.6 billion from the federal and state government have been directed to Helene recovery. Of that number, only $1.6 billion has been dispersed. Majority of that is eligibility-based FEMA funding.
Any dollars we can get are appreciated, but we need significantly more than what has come so far.
Brian Turner represents District 116 in Buncombe County, which experienced the highest death toll in North Carolina following Helene.
I think the biggest challenge has come from, I would say, sort of the larger administration of FEMA and Homeland Security, with Secretary Noem, really putting some, sort of overly stringent requirements for approvals for funds.
Secretary Noem implemented a policy that she must personally sign all disaster-related expenditures and grants that exceed $100,000.
In the world of disaster, everything costs more than $100,000.
Governor Stein has not shied away from calling on lawmakers to approve more funds for Western North Carolina. He recently traveled to D.C. with a $13.5 billion request. In the meantime, residents, business owners, and farmers can only hope that the funds come sooner rather than later as Western North Carolina tries to get back to some sort of normalcy.
I think when we look at how these programs move, which is inherently slow, and those are kind of the hurdles and roadblocks that we seem to always face is getting government moving at the pace that the rest of us are.
Now, during Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to Concord this week, Helene was a topic of discussion. He was directly asked what the Trump administration is doing to speed up the distribution of federal aid. He mentioned that Governor Stein and the president had a good conversation last week and promised that the administration will keep working on disaster relief needs across the state.